members. We've got the membership for the year. So let's go in. Yeah. So Stonehenge was built in stages. It wasn't built in one go. It is thought to be a prehistoric temple that aligned with the movement of the sun. Okay, so we are just about to walk to the actual Stonehenge site itself. It's about a 20-minute walk. Alternatively, you can catch a bus, but I think we'll be all right walking there. And then on the way back, we'll do the visitor centre, have a look at the exhibition that they have. Just downloading the audio app. So hopefully, once we get there, we should be able to get some more information. You know you're on camera.
You don't want to. You don't really.
So on the way, we are going to see some mounds. They're actual graves. So when we see them, it's quite a chilly day. Oh, it is windy. Okay, so we're just walking, still walking to the stones, but you can see there the mounds. Those are the old burial sites, so we can't walk through. In the past you used to be able to walk all the way through and get right up close. It's changed a lot in the last decade. Someone owns this field now, so you can't just traipse through it. It's private property. So we're still walking up to the not the visitor centre, to the stones. It's got some camper vans parked over there. The burrows, yes. So as I said, these were graves, and they thought that prominent people would have been buried there, because when they dug up the monuments, some of the burrows had tools, some had jewellery of the deceased. So that was quite interesting, and it gave us an insight as to what it was like. And at the visitor centre, you can actually see more of them. It's worth noting that when the burrows were first built, or when they were first done, they would have been white on the landscape because of due to the chalk. So you would have seen them as little white mounds or little white hills on the landscape. Can you see the sheep out in the distance there? Those little white things amongst the green fields. I think they're sheep, maybe not actually. No, tell a lie. Start again. Can you see the bales of hay? And we're just literally approaching the actual stones itself, which is up there. Oh, there are sheep. See them moving, they're sheep. They look like bales of hay.
No, you can walk.
The hill stone is called the Sarcizan, I hope I'm saying that right, remains in its natural state today. So surrounding it are raised and sunken areas. Also, there is a parallel area or strip that runs to the stones and to the fields behind. So this avenue is approximately 2 miles long, linking Stonehenge itself to the banks of the river Avon. Now, 2 to 3000 BC, built after the stones were raised, the routeway was supposedly to make it easy for pilgrims to come from the river, or for resources to be actually transported. So the earthquakes and the avenue were aligned with the movements of the sun. And if you have a look at the photo with the golden markings, you can see that the golden markings are of the solstice axis. And you can see the rising and setting of the sun depending on the seasons and where you stand. So it demonstrated how important the seasons were to the people of this time who were living there, and how they celebrated the seasons. So it was quite a sophisticated calendar for 4,000, 5,000 years ago. And it just shows you how their mind worked with the architecture, the building of Stonehenge itself, and what it represented. So the slaughter stone got its name because they thought that human sacrifices took part on this stone, because when it rained you'd have a red colour coming out of the stones. The water would be red, but that's just the iron. So you can actually see the markings on that top stone.
Yeah.
If you look at the stones themselves, they're arranged in a unique way. You've got the larger ones, the larger stones, which are called the Saracens. I think that's how it's said. They're the harder stones, and they're actually brought from the Downs in the north. They weigh over 30 tons, and they can be up to 9 meters tall. So you would have 2 meters that are dug below, and the 7 meters that you can see above ground. Then you've got the smaller stones, which are inside the circle. They're the blue stones, and these are volcanic rock. And these come all the way from Preseli Hills in Wales, which is 160 miles away. So this involved a tremendous amount of organisation, which tells us that people of the time would have had complex system in place. So they would have had people who did the transporting, we had people do the building, you would have had families there as well. It was quite a mammoth task to organise. Also, if you look at the stones that were used, the blue stones that came from Wales, even today, they're thought of as healing stones. So they have some sort of mythical healing powers. And even in Wales, the Preseli Hills in Wales, historically associated with this. So the Albury holes, they believed that they had they were cremated burial pits, basically. The archaeologists have found the remains of 64 people, and they are believed to have held up to 164 people in each pit. So they were about 500 years before Stonehenge was built. So they date back about 5,000 years in total. They were named after John Albury, who first noticed them as a depression in the ground. So we did see them on our way. Stonehenge. So the people who built Stonehenge probably lived in houses like these. They were recreations based on the archaeological remains of buildings excavated at Durrington Walls, just over a mile away from Stonehenge. And this is the map of. So you've got early Neolithic, late Neolithic, which is the time of Stonehenge, and early Bronze Age, which is just after. What it was like inside. Let's go into this one and see. So, this is the first hut. I believe it's a kitchen. Let's go inside.
Running on fire, yeah?
Excuse me, lads. Oh, that's a fire pit. That's where they used to cook and roast.
Yeah, roaster, fine.
Roast, but this is where they used to sit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'll wait for them to, if they want.
Me and Scott are equivalent to 5 people each.
Yeah, let's go.
Move the stone. So you pull.
Yeah, no, it will.
Pull. Go on then. Pull. So in the stage of 3000 to 2000 BC, it was the only stone circle to have lintels, horizontal stones sitting on top of the lintels at the top of the uprights. Stonehenge's architecture reveals the sophisticated mind of the late Neolithic people of Britain because of the design and structure of it. Different exhibitions were great to see, so you could actually see the artifacts that the archaeologists have found and learn about them. They recreated what this person looked like. It was just so interesting. I found this really, really fascinating. It was a great day. My son and I had a chance to catch up with some friends. We have the annual pass now for English Heritage, so we'll be visiting more sites throughout the year and putting up some videos. So I do hope you found this interesting, and Stonehenge is well worth visiting. I wish that we chose a warmer time of year. If you've enjoyed my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe and the bell so you can be notified. In Jolly Geniuses World, we make the most of our opportunities.